Hello there. Well, to me it seems as if people are coming together. We seem to be connecting, and this togetherness, or a common theme between us, seems to be getting stronger. And I've noticed that for these past few weeks in many ways. I mean, for example, one person I know, an ex-miner, because we live in an ex-mining town, and he was saying he will never ever vote Labour again. And he has voted Labour with his wife and most of his family all his life, or all his voting life. He even mentioned his mum and dad. And as I said, he's 88 years of age. And that's just one example. And I think it's because we all know something is deeply wrong in the way that we're being governed. At the heart of any government's duty, its most sacred responsibility is for the people. It isn't to maintain power. It's not to serve itself. It's not to serve themselves. But it's to care for the people. The care of human life and happiness, and not their destruction. And in my opinion, it's the first and only legitimate task of a good government. But if you look around, do you honestly feel cared for? Do you feel heard? Do you feel that those in power are truly looking out for your life and your happiness? We've been told stories of prosperity and fairness, of a better future. We've been promised hope. But too many of these promises have turned into disappointments. Campaigns filled with grand visions, promises of higher wages, better public services, a more just society, were sold to us like dreams. And yet, when power is won, these dreams are abandoned, replaced by excuses and inaction. But let's be clear, the government was not elected to make excuses. It wasn't elected to protect its own interests. It was elected to care for us. To build a society where every individual has the chance to live with dignity, with fairness, and with opportunity. Now, this isn't a radical idea. It's a fundamental truth. A government exists for its people. It should be the guardian of our well-being, the defender of our rights, the provider of the conditions for happiness. And yet, instead of feeling cared for, many of us feel neglected. Instead of a government lifting us up, we see policies that leave us behind. Instead of leaders protecting the most vulnerable, we're seeing them protecting their own interests. Now, this isn't just about broken promises. This is about a betrayal of the very purpose of government. When a party campaigns on promises they know they will not keep, and then they get into power and turn their backs on the commitments they made to us, they are failing their most basic duty to care for the human lives they are meant to serve. This isn't just politics as usual. It's failure of morality. It's a failure of leadership. And we shouldn't accept that. A good government, a true government, is one that listens to the people it serves. It is one that places the well-being of its citizens above all else. A government that sees every human being not as a number, not as a statistic, but as a life worthy of dignity, respect and protection. That is the task of a government. That it is its only legitimate purpose. Yet when our government lies to us, when it makes promises it has no intentions whatsoever of keeping, it is not just breaking a political deal. It's breaking the bond of trust that holds our society together. And when that trust is broken, democracy itself is weakened. We cannot build a just and fair society if we cannot trust those that lead us. But I have to ask, who holds the power to restore that trust? Who has the authority to remind our leaders of their true purpose and what it is? It's us. We do. It's the people who must remind this government and any government of its duty. It is us who must demand that our leaders return to the task of caring for human life and happiness. The citizens of this country. Now I cannot, and I know others cannot wait for the next election, hoping for something different. We must act now. We must make our voices so loud that they cannot ignore us, so united that they cannot divide us, so determined that they cannot dismiss us. Now I suggest, and I have done, is to write to the MPs, to your MP, attend their surgeries, take to the streets, make them know that we remember their promises and we expect them to be honoured. Let them know that the care of the human life and happiness is not negotiable. It's their obligation. We cannot allow those in power to forget their purpose. We cannot allow them to use their positions for personal gain or political advantage while leaving us behind. We cannot allow them to destroy trust while destroying the very things that give us life, hope and happiness. Governments come and go, but our rights, our lives, our dignity, these things are not temporary. They're permanent. They belong to us, not the government. And so it is our responsibility to hold power accountable, to remind them every day that their first and only task is to care for the people who put them there. Now, this isn't a fight for policy. It's a fight for the soul of our democracy, for our future and the future of our society. And it's in this fight I won't back down, and I won't be quiet. I will demand the care and the respect that every human being deserves. Because the care of human life and happiness and not their destruction is the only task that matters. And I think I have to get myself busy and not rest until that's fulfilled. In the meantime, take care. Bye now. Bye bye.